Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is day 10 of Here the Whole Time. Enjoy. I wake up early and it takes me a while to understand all that's happening. My back hurts, my clothes are drenched in sweat, and my breath tastes like a mix of beer and corn. My head itches, and when I try to raise my hand to scratch it, I notice that my arm is stuck under Kaio, who is still asleep in my bed, in case that part was unclear. You know all the things I said about Kaio being a gorgeous sleeper? I guess they don't apply when he spent the night before drinking. Kaio's mouth is open, he's snoring loudly, leaving a streak of saliva on my sleeve. Surprisingly, I'm not grossed out by it. As carefully as I can, I pull my arm out slowly, holding his head so the movement won't frighten him. I drag myself to the end of the bed, trying not to be loud, and stand up. And that's when the pain hits me. I feel it in my eyes first, then it moves through my head before looping around the back of my neck. I feel a throbbing pain, as if a gong were going off inside my head. I check the digital watch on my nightstand. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. I walk towards the kitchen, prepared to take anything from the cupboard that will make this headache go away. I walk down the hall quietly, but as soon as I get there, I realize my discretion was pointless. My mom is awake, painting in silence. Sit down, she says, not looking at me. I sit on the chair in front of me. On the table, I find a glass of water and aspirin. Hmm, is my attempt at saying good morning. My mom puts her brush in a glass of water, cleans her hands on the hem of her skirt, which is already smudged with paint, and sits down across from me. With a grave expression on her face, she pushes the water and the pills towards me, and I take them. The feeling of water running down my throat already makes me feel considerably better. Look, Felipe, I don't want to turn this into a lecture about drinking, she says. What do you mean? I try to play stupid because I can't think of anything better. I know you've been drinking. From the moment you got here, from the 200 tries it took you to unlock the door, from the way your clothes smell, I know. Her expression is the gravest I've ever seen. Of course, my mom and I have had fights before, but she's never used this tone with me, as if the subject is the utmost importance. I want to apologize and to explain that it was just a couple of beers, that it honestly doesn't even taste that good, but I don't say any of that. You're about to turn 18, you'll make your own decisions, go on with your life, and I think I've taught you everything I needed to at this point. But yesterday, for the first time ever, I felt unsure about you. I spent the night tossing and turning, wondering if I'm a good mother, or, of course you are, I interrupt, because I can't sit here and listen to my mother say something this absurd. Psst, quiet, I'm speaking, she says, bringing a finger to her lips. Like I said, this is not a lecture about drinking. I feel like I can trust you to be responsible, even if you couldn't cover your tracks from last night. I couldn't? I ask, genuinely confused, trying to remember if there's a chance I threw up in the bathroom. My mom only has to point at me and I get it. I don't need a mirror to know I look a mess. What I'm afraid of, my mom goes on, are the things that you are able to hide. The things you don't tell me. You can rest assured, Mom. Those things are, I tell you, to the therapist. She lets out a soft chuckle and holds my hands. I wish I could know everything that goes on in your head, she says. After a moment, she continues. Well, almost everything. I wish I could help you get through all the cries of this time in your life so you won't get hurt. I know sometimes we feel like we can take on the world after we have had 2 cans of beer. Or 5, I think. But you will always be my boy, and I will always be your mom, so you can count on me. Always. Don't hide things from me, son. You could tell me about what's happening in your life because I love you and nothing will ever change that. I don't understand what she's expecting from me in this moment. I don't understand if she wants me to apologize, if she wants me to tell her everything that happened last night, or if she wants to know everything that happened in the rest of my life. Regardless of her expectations, my head still hurts, and I'm in no condition to come up with something smart to say. I need your help then, I say, and there's a spark in her eyes at the possibility of me opening up to her. How do I make this headache go away? She laughs half-heartedly, unable to hide her frustration. It's called a hangover, Felipe, she says, getting up and slapping the back of my neck, which definitely does not help. The aspirin will kick in soon, but just in case, I'll brew a fresh pot of coffee for you. I frown because I hate coffee, but when she places a mug of the fuming black liquid in front of me, I change my mind. Just the smell of it makes me feel better. Thanks, Mom, I say after the first sip. I love you, son, she answers, drinking her coffee too. You know this was the feeblest parental lecture on drinking in history, right? I know. And that you'll probably have to resign from the Mothers Association after this? Shut up, Felipe, she says, laughing, almost choking on her coffee. And I smile because the hangover is starting to go away after all. The whole conversation with my mom made me forget momentarily that I spend the entire night snuggling with Kaio. So when he makes an appearance in the kitchen and takes a seat at the table for breakfast, it catches me off guard. Kaio has already showered and is handsome and smells great and has a smile on his face. It's nearly insulting considering I'm still wearing yesterday's sweaty outfit. I try to shove my nose under my armpit discreetly to gauge the situation. In case you're wondering, the situation is acceptable. Could be much worse. Good morning, I say, trying to pretend I wasn't just casually smelling my armpit. An armpit that, by the way, served as Kaio's pillow the entire night. Kaio answers with a smile and pours himself a glass of milk. Unlike myself, he seems healthy and displays no sign of a hangover. None. Maybe he's pretending so he won't have to explain himself to my mom, or maybe he's an expert in the hangover department, and 3 or 5 cans of beer have no effect on him. I can feel the cold sweat coming down my forehead. My mom is focused on a crossword puzzle, so she's barely paying any attention to the two of us. Kaio's arm bumps against mine when he reaches for the cream cheese. I look at him, he looks at me, and a never ending look exchange takes place. I wonder if he remembers. He probably does. But he knows he slept in my bed because he woke up still there. But does he remember the part where he hugged me and said, "Stay here with me"? Unforgettable, Kaio says loud and clear. Huh? I say confused, almost dropping my second cup of coffee. Memorable. 13 letters, he says, pointing at my mom's crossword puzzle. Unforgettable. Kaio spells, counting the letters on his fingers. Oh, thanks, dear, my mom says, filling in the blanks where Kaio pointed. I get up, frustrated, and start doing the dishes. Kaio probably doesn't remember. He would probably never sleep by my side, in my bed, if he wasn't drunk. And if he does remember, I wonder if it's a story he would tell his friends when embarrassing moments I've had with my clueless neighbor comes up at a party. Felipe in 10 letters? Delusional. After breakfast, I decided to take a long shower. Maybe the water would make me feel better, but so far it's brought me nothing but self sabotage. I can't stop thinking about what Kaio might be thinking, which is exhausting. I could simply say to him, "So, what did you think about last night? When we slept in the same bed for no real reason, in a super uncomfortable position that still managed to be a pretty good experience, eh, Kaio?" But my greatest fear is to find out his answer. When you're afraid of the answer, you just don't ask the question. And that's what I thought I'd throughout the day. Avoid asking the question. Kaio tries to strike up a conversation a couple of times. I give him awkward responses, looking for signs in every word he says. Most of the time, there are no signs. I realize that I've officially ruined our friendship when Kaio gives up on trying to talk to me and continues reading The Two Towers. The series has been an imaginary obstacle from the very beginning, and when he reads it, I go quiet because I know he has nothing left to say. I try to distract myself with the TV, but honestly, have you tried watching TV on a Sunday? It's torture. So Sunday drags by. I pace around the house, help my mom make dinner. We have ice cream for dessert. I suggest a round of Uno, but no one wants to play, and before I know it, the day's over. I get ready for bed, shorts and an old t-shirt, because I decide to give up my Batman pajamas a rest, but I still don't know if it's already time to wash them or not. And when I get to bedroom, Kaio is already in bed. Not my bed, unfortunately. You can turn off the light if you want, he says when he sees me walk in, and I feel like now is my opportunity to redeem myself. Maybe with the lights off. We'll talk for hours and clear the air, then everything will be fine again. I turn off the lights, get into bed, and then Kaio turns on his phone flashlight and points it at his book so he can keep reading, and I obviously want to die. Good night, I whisper. I turn my back to him and will myself to sleep without waiting for an answer, and I'm glad I don't, because there is none. I don't know how much time goes by before I feel the earthquake. I'm in the middle of a dream with Ben Affleck, which I'm not going to describe here because it's too embarrassing, and suddenly everything is shaking. I wake up with the start, and even in the pitch black of night, I can see Kaio poking my shoulder. Felipe! Felipe! He's whispering, but his voice sounds desperate. Huh? Is all I can muster. I'm sorry to wake you up like this. It's alright. I lie because I can't get mad at him. I just had to talk to someone about it, and that someone had to be you, of course. I'm too excited. There's no way I could wait until tomorrow. What? I ask, feeling a streak of drool running down the corner of my mouth. I try to casually wipe it off with my collar. He's back! Your desire to snuggle with me all night? I think. Gandalf, Kaio explains. He's back. I knew he was too important to die in the first book, but, I was over it, and then he suddenly appears back from the dead. That's when I start laughing. Because it's so funny to see Kaio genuinely excited about information that has been publicly available since 1954. I'm glad you're enjoying it. The book, I mean. My voice is still heavy with sleep. I think I'll be done reading it by the end of the week. And then I'm attacked by the familiar feeling that the conversation is about to die. We'll be out of things to say, and I don't want to let that happen, no matter how tired I am. I find inside me the courage that I discovered yesterday. It's a little harder without the beer, but a bit easier in the dark. Do you remember? I finally ask. Kaio doesn't seem surprised. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Remember what? That I slept in your bed and it was kind of embarrassing? That I spent the day reading because I had no clue what to say? That I came up with this whole Gandalf is back thing just to have an excuse to wake you up because I didn't want to go to sleep without talking to you? He says all at once. Yeah, I remember. I take a relieved breath. I was worried you might be the type who drinks and then forgets everything. No, I remember it all perfectly fine. And then there's an awkward silence for almost a full minute. Just like that Friends episode where Joey and Ross sleep together on the couch without meaning to, and then they realize it was really nice. They start doing it in secret. I finally say, I've never watched Friends, Kaio says, which is a terrible answer for so many reasons. But look, relax, it's okay, I say, trying to alleviate the tension. I get a little needy when I drink. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I feel the now familiar bucket of cold water hit me, because I wish it would happen again. I wish it would happen right now, to be honest, but I don't say it. I don't say anything. I'm glad you're okay. I didn't want to go another day in silence, not after I offered to be your best friend, Kaio says, and I hear his voice saying the words best friend inside my head 200 times before I fall back to sleep. Okay, that is the end of day 10. I hope you enjoyed. Just before I end the video, I'd like to note a couple things. Be sure to check the description for some important stuff. I have some questions, things I'd like to ask you, whoever watches these videos, um, just on like future things I should do on the channel. Enjoy, and I hope to see you in day 11. Bye.